Hello, my name is Kent Lewis, and I'm CMO, Chief Marketing Officer at Dexia. Some of you may know me from my days at Anvil Media, but since March of 2022, we are now Dexia. You can follow us on social media at Dexia and learn more at dexia.com. For this month's Lunch and Learn, we're going to talk about 2023 predictions, ostensibly focusing on marketing trends that you can incorporate into next year's planning as our February Lunch and Learn. Look forward to future Lunch and Learns, March and beyond. Every month, we'll share some digital insights, some traditional marketing, brand strategy, graphic design, copywriting, best practices as a continuation of the Anvil Lunch and Learn series. You can find out more on the Dexia YouTube channel as well. So let's get started. A little background about me, in no particular order apparently, is that I have been in digital marketing since 1996. I've been at 10 different agencies, including Anvil and Dexia. I ran Anvil for 22 years. We focused on search marketing and other digital measurable marketing. And then Dexia came knocking on my door, and we agreed it made a lot of sense for our clients and our team to have a larger, more robust entity, to be more of a full service agency. So that has been an exciting change for everyone. And in terms of credentials, for those newer to the game, I've been an adjunct professor at Portland State University since 2000, teaching primarily search marketing. And I've also started a networking group called pdxmindshare.com. There's a large LinkedIn group of over 12,000 members looking to build their network and grow professionally. And I founded or co-founded a group called sempdx.org, which is a trade organization for search marketers. We have a big annual event now called Engage, coming up August 11th. Check out more information there at pdxmindshare.com and sempdx.org. I also briefly, for a few months, had a show on Daily Ad Brief. I write regularly for Smart Brief in the digital marketing focus of their vertical. And then I teach a quarterly workshop as an instructor for SCORE, nationwide organization, but I do workshops for the Portland chapter virtually on webinars, so anybody can join. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of my credentials and a little bit about Dexia for those not familiar. But I want to start with a little tradition. So since 2005, so basically I'm not great at math, but I think that's 17 years or so. Every year we predict in November, December, the year prior, what the following year's predictions will be in terms of marketing trends and innovations and fads and memes and so forth. And last year was no exception. So in December of 2021, we wrote predictions for 2022 for last year. And then we go back and write an article assessing and grading how we did. So we had 8 different predictions. And the first was the metaverse will evolve from a distraction to a virtual reality for brands. That ended up being true. We gave ourselves an A-, although the metaverse, along with crypto and NFTs, took a bit of a crash in spring, and the jets have cooled, but that's actually exciting for those of us that are truly passionate about Web3, metaverse, and NFTs, because it takes away all the noise and the nonsense. We can focus on building true utility and value. Web3 becoming ubiquitous, we did miss the mark on that because of the crash. It dramatically slowed down progress in terms of general adoption and more deeper insights for consumers on what it could be. So it did not advance as we thought. This will be more true, more so in 2023, definitely in 2024. Video marketing will become a vital part of any online marketing strategy. We said A, we nailed that. We gave ourselves an A. It's because it's 100% true. Evolutions like video, vertical video, and TikTok really made that very much more of a truth than every other platform trying to mimic TikTok. MUM, which is an SEO, search engine optimization related terminology, will strengthen Google's ability to understand more complex searches. So it's a way to create context, and it didn't end up working out like we thought. We still give it a B+. There was progress, but it wasn't fully embraced. You can read our recap on our Dexia blog for more information on our self-grading. And over-the-top streaming advertising will gain traction as ad targeting decreases the loss of third-party. Loss of third-party targeting with Google has been pushed out 2 years through Google Chrome and the Google network. It's just really Apple and iOS that have really pushed ad targeting options away from third-party data. So streaming didn't take off like we thought it would. So C+ there. More businesses will move direct to consumer e-commerce. True, but not as true as we thought it would be. We thought everybody would jump on board. Brands that rely on retail can still continue to focus on the marketplaces like Amazon and Target and Walmart, and doing a much less of their own direct shift if they weren't already there. And then lastly, more companies will offer retail media networks leveraging first-party data. So but that didn't happen as much as we thought either. So again, if you lose third-party data, you need to go to networks, retail networks. Again, it could be something akin to publishers or Amazon, Walmart, and Target type of websites or marketplaces. So it didn't quite, that and D2C commerce both didn't pan out exactly like we thought. Progress, not as far as we thought. So that was our year review from 2022 predictions that we made over a year ago. So now it's time to get into, sorry, I thought so. There should be 10 or 11. So third-party cookie data will begin to sunset itself. It did not really happen because of the delays, not surprisingly from Google, but it surprised us more than not, or we would have not made that prediction. Influencer marketing, we thought there'd be far more commerce, social commerce as there was, powered by influencers that didn't grow quite as much as we thought, but still a healthy clip, so B-. And then lastly, multicultural representation of marketing will continue to increase in importance. We said B, people are thinking more woke and so forth, but it wasn't an A because the BIPOC community is still largely underrepresented in marketing networks or in advertising and marketing today. Progress, but not nearly as far as it needs to go. So our 2023 predictions in summary, kind of let's get the spoiler alert out of the way. Number one, localized marketing will go global and globalized marketing will go local. So the flip-flopping, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Then Zoomers replacing Boomers, that's Generation Z for those of you not in the know. Number three is Google Search will expand its capabilities to support online marketing. We believe that to be true. And then SEO will expand to social media platforms. So optimizing for the likes of TikTok and Instagram and so forth will become more and more prevalent. Number five, Google Ads will become more about asset management, less about detailed optimizations of those ads and campaigns. And then number six, TikTok will emerge as a prevalent music streaming platform. So instead of focusing on the videos, they're really going to be able to monetize and grow in popularity for the music overlay of the posts that you create for TikTok. We thought BeReal might become real for marketers, more opportunities to that time-based app where it's all about how quickly can you record what you're doing at that moment with a picture to be more authentic and real. And we think that's gonna be big. And then user-generated content will evolve from content to commerce. So as people create content, they will do so with the idea of loyalty programs and affiliate programs to be able to monetize their content, or brands being clever about how they engage with their biggest fans that aren't traditionally known as influencers. Marketing will get very personal, prediction number 9. And then going on to the tech side, AR, VR, so augmented reality, virtual reality will evolve into a standardized component of remote meetings. So less on marketing, more about collaboration. And then lastly, AI will become one with us, become one AI, one with us. And we predicted this before ChatGPT came out in December, wrote this in November, and with over 500 million users, it has become a breakthrough, bringing AI to the forefront. So I'd say we nailed that in January. But let's start with localized marketing and how it will go global, while global marketing will go local, right? So the idea here is that COVID completely changed how we work. Our culture is no longer mandatory at work. It's more shifted towards mandatory remote work. Now, some brands, Dexia loves to be in the office. They're a big champion for that, and I support that. But it may make it harder to recruit talent that expects to be able to work remotely for businesses that are more traditionally focused. Those changes are now lowering communication barriers because we're all on Zoom, we're all Zoom friendly, and we all have hopefully set up offices that are friendly for that. Companies are hiring more global, not just remote workers, but offshoring and outsourcing more than ever. In-country employees are creating new marketing opportunities. So having native speakers in each country was not as viable. You need third-party translation localization service. Now you do not need that. And this includes localized marketing for messages that resonate at a community level. So if you can have in-country, if you're a US-based company trying to get into, say, Philippines, then you can hire Philippine talent, or it could be anywhere, Botswana, South America, but you can hire people in market, native speakers, understand the culture and understand even the nuanced communities. I could tell you the different personalities of neighborhoods within Portland and outside of the outskirts of downtown Portland. They all have different nuances, from Beaverton to Gresham to Troutdale. Nobody from out of the country would know that. Nobody from out of market would know that. And then, as well as global outreach, it's easy now for a small company to reach out globally and get their message out there. And even into localized markets that have similarities, like a sister city of Portland would be Austin, Texas. We have a lot of similar values and cultural elements and beliefs. So it's a lot easier to target that market, even if we're just a small Portland company. It's ideal for account-based marketing. So named accounts, you determine which brands you want to do a target with your marketing. Account-based sales might look for within the named accounts specific individuals to target with email and other highly targeted ads or phone outreach. So it really works well if you're looking to go around the world, but with very specific industries or brands, larger brands, where you can actually hit different decision makers. So that's how we think there's going to be a local going global, reaching out, and then global being able to go local, both hiring opposite sides of the planet or other, disciplines and knowledge base. Second prediction, Zoomers will replace Boomers. So as Gen Y and Gen X and Boomers are aging, there's a new buying audience emerging that's quite strong, known as Gen Z, AKA the Zoomers. So those Zoomers typically are, let's say, I looked this up, at 20 to 30 or like 18 to 30 something. So they are, they're moving up. Sorry, Gen Y is late 20s. So these would be the teens, and they're coming in. So let's say, teens, 13, 14 up to 20, 21, and then the Gen Ys take over. They transition to X's like me that are in, late 40s, early 50s. Purchase behaviors, unlike any prior generation, although they're a lot more similar to Gen Y, they're very different than X and diametrically opposed to Boomers in a lot of ways. So brands that are interested in cultivating this emerging market will need to update their brands and messaging to address the alignment across areas of interest, including purpose, sustainability, transparency, diversity, inclusion. So it's all about underrepresented people having a voice, equality, saving the planet. They're inheriting quite a mess from us older generations, so that this is a priority to brands are socially and economically and environmentally responsible. And Zoomers also find and digest information quite differently, growing up fully digital with iPads. They're relying on YouTube, TikTok, YouTube and TikTok, which are for generations like X and Boomers, entertaining. For them, it's actually it's a platform to research ideas, to research more information, to learn how to do things that typically was reserved for Google and maybe Facebook for us older generations. Lastly, brands that help simplify the buying process will be rewarded. So basically what we're doing is we can utilize these platforms and certain messaging and not give any given audience too many options, and just make it simple and streamline it. You can utilize technology like omni-channel marketing platforms to help make a seamless communication based on channel, screen, context, time of day, etc. So those are all elements. The next prediction is Google search will expand support of online shopping. So what that means is we believe that Google has an approved ability to support the customer journey through the e-commerce shopping integration. So what would they call shopping graph? So they're looking at the customer journey and trying to maintain relevance with Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Bing with their new chat and with their new AI capability, nipping at their heels. So how does that work? With Shopping Graph, it's about incorporating reviews, pricing, integrations, all of that into one place. So when you're doing research, you only need to go to one search on a given product to get everything you need in one place, including videos and links to websites and other information. Google wants to make the platform free they made the platform free Google made the platform free during COVID to increase adoption. The latest improvements include buyer guide functionality with drop-down information. And when you lay it over MUM, which we'll talk about, which we have alluded to in a previous presentation from last year, this new feature will create new opportunities for direct-to-consumer brands that want to go, like Nike, shift away from retail partners in the channel and go direct only from their website effectively, or their own pop-up stores. So this shopping graph will allow those direct-to-consumer folks to have more of a relationship and not rely as heavily on the marketplaces like Amazon. The next tip is SEO will expand to SEO will expand to social media platforms. So with Google having a majority of search market share, that's been a truth for decades. The second reality is that Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok have all, among others, eroded Google's market share and time on site and time used on apps. So if those platforms are utilizing more time in how people search, then we need to make sure that brands are found through these social platforms. So search engine optimization effectively becomes social media optimization using SEO best practices for these social platforms. According to the New York Times, Zoomers are not utilizing Google search like past generations. You can see there's boomers, X, Y, and Z. Those are the years. 95 to 2010 is Gen Z. So they're as young as 12 and as old as, do the math yourself, 20 to 23. So this generation is about mobility, about social networks, they're digital natives. They're all about dialogue, communicating, they're realistic, they're ethical, they're unlimited in their potential, versus my generation, which is, I don't believe so, but very much more about status, versus boomers that are ideology, versus Yers that are all about experience. 40% of Gen Y and Gen Z are utilizing TikTok and Instagram to conduct research. So search-like behavior, not just entertainment. With social media increasing in importance, brands must be found in order to compete for younger eyeballs. And historically speaking, social platforms are relatively simple with their algorithms today, but they're evolving to compete more with Google, especially with AI. So what they have done really well is use AI to create far more custom experiences. My TikTok feed, despite how little I use it, is completely different than my kids and my wife, who doesn't use it as much. But it's completely personalized based on what they know about me. We know China knows everything about us. So TikTok in particular, it's pretty sad what they think I like to look at, because it's pretty disturbing, frankly. And I don't think it reflects who I am, but they think they know it all. As social platforms evolve, SEO obviously will take an increasing role in helping brands get found within these platforms. Next up, Google Ad Management will evolve to focus on assets over optimizations. So Google Ads have required minor tweaks or optimizations in order to maximize performance from a historic perspective, meaning my team for the past 20 years or more has focused on tweak this keyword, test this new keyword, tweak this copy, try new copy, A/B test against this, against that, try new landing page, try new image on the landing page, try new hero statement, a call to action. But primarily on the ad side, it's keywords and copy and targeting. And what's going on with Performance Max in particular, with their platform enhancements, it's automating a lot of the testing and optimization, pulling assets and messages, text, and put it together in different combinations, and basically multivariate testing in real time to give you, and based on across all their network, they have a good idea of what works in theory, and that's in their best interest to get ads to work well, so you'll spend more with them. And that has proven to be largely true. As a result, Smart Bidding, Performance Max, and other features have shifted our focus as marketers away from the keywords, the bid amount, the cost per clicks, and the little details, into more of an asset management. Let's test new creative and new copy constantly. Let's maybe tweak some of the targeting, but generally speaking, it's all about doing things that we have become more of, again, production designers, asset managers, instead of little tweaky things that are now fully automated. So the ad managers are looking at the conversion data, product feeds and asset curation, so image ads, landing pages, to be more successful than in the past. So that's the big change so far. We also believe that TikTok will emerge as a prevalent music streaming platform. And this is naturally because ByteDance wants to get in the music business to compete against Apple and Google and other brands. And they have the following and they have the functionality. Because of TikTok's explosive growth, insane engagement, and their relatively newfound influence in the music world, it makes sense for them to expand out into being more of known as a music platform, not just a video goof platform. And so we'll see if that plays out, but it makes total sense for them. Gen Y and Gen Z in particular are the most engaged. They see the lifestyle, they associate videos with music and soundtracks. It's like a soundtrack lifestyle, which is a bit different than older generations. And it's all about incorporating streaming as a natural extension that we assume will continue, especially if they want to kind of get away from being seen as Big Brother out of China and getting potentially banned in the US, which some politicians are trying to do now or have been for the last couple of years. May or may not work, but music may be a safer bet for them long term. Another prediction, BeReal will become real for marketers. So BeReal, for those of you that don't know, is when my BeReal logo, let's see if it turned on. I didn't get it yet. When I get a BeReal logo, it says you have X amount of time to take a picture. I take a picture with the front and back of my camera simultaneously and say, working on a presentation right now, take that photo, share it with my network. And instead of it being a staged, photoshopped, makeup and lighting, it's all about, at that moment, you try to be real. So we think the growth has been significant. It's still relatively small. We're talking, under 15 million, but what's that says 8 million? Yeah, it's a 10. So I think it's like well past 12 million. But the idea is that's nothing compared to other platforms, but it's a real anti-Instagram statement to focus on raw and real and not staged and phony. More about today instead of tomorrow, more realistic instead of aspirational. So people flock to that idea of authentic, unedited, time-based posts. And the ad options are a little more limited right now, but that it gives brands like Chipotle options to do promotions, be in the store to get this deal, take a BeReal pic. And as an advertiser, you can decouple that time-based component, be event or location-based. And that makes a lot more sense. Brands like, as I mentioned, Chipotle have tested the platform. They actually gotten more PR visibility than I think traction from that regard. And then platforms open up new opportunities for brands that like to collaborate on authentic user-generated content. So a new type of influencer, I don't know how that's going to work, but an influencer that can be ready at any minute to take a photo and plug your product. So this allows true non-influencers to become influencers by being true, because you would wear your brand you love all the time versus only to stage a photo. Parlaying off that, it's the idea of user-generated content will evolve from content to commerce. So this is something we'd like to see. So the idea is that user-generated content is super popular. You see it in ads, primetime ads. You see it and all over the place is brands utilizing real users or customers in their content. And that's really exploded in the last couple of years. And what happens in particular is to better target the younger generations and keep costs down, we can create more authentic content by just simply leveraging what's out there. You already have fans that aren't professional influencers that are your customers. And these platforms make it so easy to track and curate this content and then determine if you want to have a formal relationship to syndicate that content and empower the user-generated content platform. So you can see a lot of it is audio and video, including live streaming, followed by just social media. A lot less is advertising and promotional content or blogs, etc. You'll find that brands are going to dedicate programs more so in this year and next year to identifying, harvesting, and curating this quality content from the constituents. So by that, I mean beyond your customers. Could be employees, could be partners, could be other special interest groups, communities, could be anybody, but help harvest that content for a new round, new elements of content for content strategy for social, for website, for other marketing. And as a core strategy, it also provides essential commerce opportunities. So if you're featuring a certain shirt in a video taken by a customer, you can embed a link and say, buy this shirt now, like this garage shirt I'm wearing. You could theoretically order it from the Dexia store, which TBD on that. But you can leverage existing loyalty programs and affiliate marketing programs to do that. A current example from Web3 would be Nike's Swoosh NFT community, which is a community, even though NFTs are not as fun and interesting as they used to be, you can co-create content with Nike through their NFT community called swoosh.io. So that gets really interesting to see the idea of not just us as brands leveraging the consumer customer, but actually collaborating. AMC and others have done that with NFTs, where buyers of NFTs of certain AMC shows like the Zombie Show, Living Dead, can actually have input on scripts, potentially even star in a show by being part of this VIP club of NFT owners. So I think that's kind of where we see that going. Marketing will get very personal as well. Now, this has changed in the last 2 to 3 months, honestly, since we first made this prediction. So effective customer experiences, we know the customer journey, the CX, the UX are highly personalized and seamless in theory. Usually less so in practice, but that's the idea. So the concept is from initial research, a customer doing basic research, to moving through to transaction, and then moving on to long-term customer and evangelist, that each journey is somewhat unique, which requires personalization. How do you do that? Well, that was very difficult to do previous to AI. And now these algorithms are getting smarter and smarter, more and more sophisticated, like ChatGPT, where you can instantly create highly scalable, personalized experiences that are going to be more engaging to the end user, regardless of their spot in their customer journey, regardless of their level of knowledge or passion. And it's going to therefore have a higher conversion rate. So that's, with this year of uncertainty that's, we're hanging on between UFOs and Chinese balloons to, fraud artists and politics, there's a year of uncertainty with a potential recession. So this can really help shore up your existing business. So AI, particularly ChatGPT, and other learning mechanisms, machine learning, can take your CRM or marketing automation platform to the next level to scale like never before. And that's super exciting. I guess we did know about ChatGPT in November, December. So augmented reality and virtual reality, AR, VR. So augmented is where I use my phone, I look, and then it overlays me. It overlays digital elements, assets into a physical world. And VR is your fully immersive experience. So they have a potential to truly radicalize how we work remotely and how we engage remotely, because the high resolution monitors like this new Quest Hi-Fi $1,500 headset, they're lighter, higher resolution, more robust. They're like massively powerful computers that fit on your head. You can do business meetings at scale and have way better gaming experiences. I just tested one of the lower level Quest headsets from Meta/Facebook, and it was fun. It was okay resolution. I can see why people trip and fall and run into TVs and walls. But really what it does outside of gaming is, for the first time, we can have remote meetings where, if we all have standardized use of headsets, we can have more robust collaboration. For instance, you can hear people talking based on how far away they are from you, their volume adjusts. So you get back to hearing natural conversations that are near you at a larger meeting. There's obviously limitless things you can do virtually, but the idea is, part of it is recreating the value of face-to-face using virtual technology. And then again, pivoting off of that, artificial intelligence will become one of us. So think Terminator in a good way, I guess you could say. So AI will have, we think, a breakout year in 2023. And this is based somewhat on just the early inklings of ChatGPT before it came a thing, before I wrote about it, before I started speaking about it. And so the idea here is that it's gone from beyond enhancing basic search to creating and improving and expanding content and taking it farther. So there's art, like Jasper and DALL-E. There's code level fixes that platforms like ChatGPT can do. So there's image, like, give me this, looks like that. Here's your instant image based on all the images on the internet using AI. Or here's a video, make this person say this using deepfake technology and videos. And then there's just text, write me an essay in 20 seconds or less. It's remarkable, 800 words on Napoleon. So what does that mean? It means more about business. It's already transforming education in schools as they try and figure out how to deal with ChatGPT. But there are all these different ways that we can utilize AI to make our lives better. The way I would say it in short is it will not replace people. It will augment and expand our abilities, more like a bionic suit than a full-blown robot that replaces a human. So for instance, Google Lenses app uses a smartphone camera to understand objects in its environment and can therefore incorporate that content in advertising or commerce elements. Think of like Pokemon Go, but with real commerce elements to it. And look no further the integration into email and other business tools. So auto-completing sentences in Google and Outlook. It'll move to paragraphs, to entire documents. So at night, maybe it reads all my email and it suggests responses that I hit OK or lightly edit before I send. I think that's where it's going to go as it learns us as individuals. We might have our own AI tool that gets to know us personally and how we behave and predict our behavior. That's super exciting. So in review, our 2023 predictions include localized marketing going global, globalized marketing going local, Zoomers replacing boomers, Google search expanding to support online shopping, SEO to expand to support social media platforms, Google Ads becoming more about asset management, less about detailed hands-on optimization due to the AI and robust automations, TikTok becoming a music streaming platform, BeReal becoming a replacement for, to some degree, Instagram. User-generated content is going to evolve from a content play to a commerce play. Marketers are going to use AI and other tools to get very personal and therefore scale more engaging customer experiences. Augmented and virtual reality will evolve to standardize and improve a more collaborative, engaging remote meetings, and AI will become one with us. So those are our 11 predictions for this year. You can look back through this link when you download a copy of this deck. And if you have trouble, we're putting this up in gated content on the Dexia site shortly, but it'll be in the meantime the recording on YouTube. But you can see how well we predicted in 2022, and then how we're doing it so far in 2023. We have a robust, for now, it's on the Anvil website, but we're moving all those insights sections of ebooks, white papers, and articles and blog posts over to the Dexia site. But we are going to post all new content on the Dexia's YouTube channel and on the LinkedIn channel. Those are the best places to find us. So I want to thank you for your time. We don't have any time for questions this round. We will hopefully in the future. But again, check out the Anvil Insights section or marketing resources section. Sign up for Dexia's newsletter. You can go to resources on the website. Reach out for any help with marketing support. And for those of you that actually listen to me and don't scrape content, you can email me questions at kent@dexia.com. I want to thank you for your time and hope that to see you next month. But check our website for an event calendar for upcoming lunch and learns, and we'll hope to see you there.